for elevation. I'm a soldier, won't surrender. Faith is like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you pry it from the cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping in the shadows could be making history. Through the fire, on the water, used to be a slave, but now you are a conqueror.
They can take my heart, they can take my breath when they pry it from the cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. We're rising up, rising up, we're rising up, rising up, we're rising up. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Straight Talk with Joe Vollano. I am extremely excited tonight. For a couple of reasons. One, a slate came out for the Republican side in Meriden, and I haven't gotten the entire slate from the Democratic Party yet, even though I do know some of them, so we will go through some of those. But I'm excited about it. It's a great slate. Tonight, we were going to have the top of the ticket on the show tonight, Elaine Cariotti, who is the Republican mayoral candidate for the Republicans for the mayor of East Haven. I almost said East Haven. For Meriden. She will be here tonight, and we're also going to check out our new video chat. So she'll be live and she'll be in video, so you can see and hear her. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess we'll find out, but we'll see how that all works out. But, again, for all those who don't know, my name is Joe Vollano, and I am your host and your guiding light through all the craziness and madness going through our city, state, and country as it's been for the last, I would say 5 years. It's been absolutely crazy. I think people have just lost their minds. But I find it as a sigh of relief last night as I heard the slate come out, even though I knew already, but to hear it in its full, and when you actually start seeing these people together, I tell you what, it was amazing to me. I was extremely happy. I was satisfied that the executive board put together an awesome slate, a strong slate that I think might turn this city red. I'm saying it. I think this city might turn red in November, but we will see. We'll see what happens. Now, normally I would put up the phone number, but we're going to hold off on that till after our interview with Elaine, with the mayoral candidate Elaine Cariotti. So we'll wait to put the the phone number and the email up there. Obviously, you could always email us at Straight Talk JV. Actually, I will put it up here, even though I won't take phone calls right now. But you could email me at straighttalkjv@gmail.com, or you could always go into the chat, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. It's always there, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. This show always works better when there's audience participation. So let's go through real quick who the Republicans and some of them are We the People candidates that are going up, so that Republicans are endorsing. So let's go through each one, and then we'll go from there. So for area, we're gonna start with Area 1. Area 1 is Frank Scotto. I'm hoping I pronounced his last name right. Frank Scotto. He is going to be running in Area 1. We're going to have him on hopefully in the next couple weeks. I don't know too much about him. He's a newcomer to me. I know a lot of my friends that I have here in Meriden are huge fans of him. I can't wait to sit down and answer some questions, throw some questions at him, and see what he is looking to do for the citizens of Meriden, especially them in Area 1, which encompasses downtown. And for me, everyone knows downtown's been a big thorn in my side, and I like to know exactly what the candidates are going to be looking to do in downtown, especially since they're representing that area. So I think we'll have some great conversations with Frank. Hopefully we'll have him on in the next week or so. Then we got Area 2. And Area 2, I think, is going to be a great matchup. Because, listen, LaRue Graham, Councilman Graham, who has to be, to me, in my eyes, the second worst. Well, I can't say it. There's a lot of them would be tied for second worst counselors. But he is horrible. He is horrible. First of all, he has no spine. That's just, that's been years in the of evidence in that he has no spine. He does whatever the party tells him. And today is no different. And this is really no different. For the last 6 to 8 months, we've been hearing he's not running anymore. I mean, half the time he's not even in the state. So, we've been hearing he's not running. Then word gets out who the Republicans and We the People are throwing up. And all of a sudden that changes all of a sudden. So Joe Carabetta III is running for city council again. Now, if you guys don't remember, in 2015, Councilman Carabetta won that seat over Mr. Dominello by 9 votes. The youngest ever counselor beat one of the longest serving counselors in American history by 9 votes. So when people say my vote doesn't matter, Joey Carabetta, Councilman Carabetta, is prime example of why every single vote counts and why you need to vote. He won by 9 votes. So obviously Democrats got wind that Joey was running. And of course, they convinced LaRue to run. Because they know without LaRue, they don't stand a chance of keeping that seat. Let's just be honest. So once again, LaRue will do as the party tells him. He will do as the party tells him, and he will run, even though he has no intention of wanting to keep that seat or to even want to run to begin with. But they are so desperate to keep that seat that he's willing just to throw his name up there. So that's going to be a very interesting race, and we'll get into that as the weeks go and as we go further. Area 3, we have the minority leader Dan Brunei. He's obviously no big decision there. He's been the minority leader for years, and he's done a great job. He represents Area 3 extremely well. And hopefully we'll have him on too in the next couple of weeks. And I want to know, because since I really do believe that we do have a chance now, with this slate, we have a chance of turning the city red. That would mean that Mr. Brunei would be the majority leader. So I love to know what his plans are and what he wants to see happen and what he would want, the first things he would do if we had a majority. So that's going to be a very interesting interview. I can't wait to have it. And then we got Area 4. Area 4, we have Mr. Williams, Bob Williams. He's the We the People candidate. He is endorsed by the Republicans this year, as normally he is. And what can you say about Bob Williams? He's a straight shooter. He tells you the way he sees it is the way he tells it. So he doesn't hold back at all. So, and that's one thing I admire about Bob Williams. You don't have to agree with him. You don't have to agree with him, but he's gonna vote, and he's gonna stand behind that vote, whether it's right or wrong. There's many times I've told him I think it's a wrong vote, but I'm entitled to my opinion. He's entitled to his. He's the counselor, so he gets the final say. So hopefully we'll have him on. I don't know if he does many of that stuff, but I tell you, Bob Williams, he's an exciting candidate. I don't know who they're running in Area 4. I've heard rumors. I've heard rumors that a former counselor she might be running again, but I have not heard definitely on whether that is in fact the case. But we'll see if that former councilwoman takes another shot at her area. And then we have at large, and this is going to be interesting because you have Ray Arlett, who is currently on the Board of Education, who is also a police officer in the great city of Meriden. So he will be running at large, along with Dan Zabrowski, who just barely lost 2 years ago. He only lost by 137 votes, which is nothing when you think about how many votes were cast. So, and on the Democrat side, obviously you have Councilman Fontanella, who is up, who I hear he is going to be running. And then you have Chad, and I can't even remember his last name. That's how much I care about him. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. He's running. He took over David Lowell's seat. So he's going to be running. So I think, again, Republicans have a chance to definitely pick up one seat. If not, can we pull out two? And I tell you what, if the Democrats keep voting the way they are, and if Councilman Fontanella keeps voting the way he is, he's going to be freaking gone. He's going to be gone. I'm hoping to have Bruce on. Councilman Fontanella, I would love to get on this show. And I feel he is more conservative than everybody else. Or at least he's more center. Because you look at the council now, it's far left. They're just out there. They're loonies. They're absolutely lost their minds. So I'm hoping Fontanella will come on the show, and I would love to. I have a couple of great questions for him that I would love answers to, especially with some of his votes lately. I want to know what he's thinking, because I've always had the utmost respect for Bruce. Because I every time he spoke, I thought he was very articulate, and he was more moderate and more centered, but I don't know. So, guys, if you're on the chat, you can see our good friend Gabe Revisa is on, and he's straight out of North Carolina now, I believe, right? Yeah, North Carolina. Or is it South Carolina? I think it's North Carolina. But he is the owner of Gravity Tackle, and I swear by the white Mondos. I think they're 9.5-inch white Mondos. I still think they are the greatest baits in the world, and something that Gabe makes. So if you haven't been to, Gabe, just throw your web address to your Gravity Tackle. That'll be awesome. So people should be going to visit there. Oh my God, I got something in my eye. I don't know. So of course, this is when it happens. Always when you go on live. And then we have the mayor race. Now, most people know that for the last 2 cycles, I've always tried, and I've been pretty public about it. I've went to endorse Mr. Scarpati. And I did it for a couple of reasons. One, the mayor's race at the time really didn't mean anything. You know, they had a super majority. There was nothing we really could do. Right. For now, relax, Ray. Ray, you can always come on the show too. But, you know, for the mayor's race, I've always seen it as a consolation prize to some extent because, why go for it if it doesn't really have power? So we really needed to focus. One, we didn't have the money or the candidate to go after the mayor's race. So for the last 2 cycles, I've always said, let's put that race to the side. Let's have Kevin. We'll cross endorse Kevin so we get this all out of the way. And so we could concentrate on just the council. We don't have to worry about spending money on the mayor's race. Well, how times have changed in the last 4 years. How things have changed in the last 4 years. The roles have really reversed. Where the Democrats used to have all the money and Republicans had none. When Democrats had all the candidates, and Republicans really were scrounging for some. Where now we have the candidates, we have the strong slate, we have the money to back it. And what did the Democrats have? Begging counselors. They're begging counselors to run so they don't lose the seat. What does that tell you? That warms my heart. It warms me to the core when I hear this. It really does. It just shows you how much they have fallen from their glory days. But like I said last night, we have 2 parts of the solution, but there's a third. We need to make sure we support these candidates. We need to make sure we support these candidates with everything we got. That means if you're out there watching this show, you need to be willing to get out there and knock on doors, make phone calls, and do everything possible to make sure these candidates get up. This isn't just about the candidates. No. This is about the city as a whole, rescuing and saving this city. And I don't say that lightly. We are literally fighting right now for the heart and soul of this city. Because if Democrats win, this anti-police, this social justice nightmare that's going on right now is only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And it is going to destroy this city. Councilwoman Jelks, Majority Leader Jelks, this is who they have chosen to lead this city. That should tell you everything you need to know about where the Democrats stand and where their morals stand. Because it's sad. It's very, very sad. And it's dangerous. But I think we have the slate to sit there and take care of that. Well, Joe, why don't you run for council? Say absolutely not. I could do my job from right here. This is my job. This is my job. My job is to be here and give the people the information they need to make sure that you're making well-educated decisions. That's my job. I never wanted to run for office. I have no desire. I never had a desire to hold office. Now, people ask, why did I run? I ran because there was no one that I thought would do a better job than I would. That is not the case here. I will take any one of these candidates. Any one of these candidates will do a fabulous job. So I'll do my job, which is right here with you guys. But without further ado, I want to welcome to the show a fabulous young lady. One that I've gotten I guess it is a pleasure to have met over the last year and a half. And that is the Republican mayoral candidate, Ms. Elaine Cariotti. And here she is. Welcome to the show. And I'm glad you are here. I got to pump this up so I could hear you. And welcome to the show, Elaine.
Thank you.
So, like I said, I've met you about a year and a half ago when you started getting involved in Meriden politics. And I've known of you through Cariotti. Obviously, the name is pretty well known in the city for the good and the bad, which we'll get into both sides. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into why you decided to lose your mind and try to get into this game called politics. So, Elaine, the floor is yours. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Meriden, and I was a mother at 18, single mother, raised my two children, put them through college, and have been in Meriden my whole entire life. And I guess, everybody does know the Cariati name, but they don't realize, being a single mother, I went through a lot of hardships, um, trying to figure out life and growing up with my children. My parents have afforded me great opportunities, and I took advantage of those opportunities and made some great progress for myself. I'm a builder in Meriden, new construction, and it was a passion that I ended up doing. Love it. I'm great at it, and I believe in Meriden, and that's why I've always stayed in Meriden and built in Meriden. And
So,
now both of my kids are back in Meriden.
So Elaine, like I said, I've only met you for the past year and a half, and we've done a lot of work together in the MRTC, along with Sean and the rest of the executive board. Uh, and I think that, and I said it last night, I think your leadership and what you have been able to accomplish, and what you have able to for the Republican Party as a whole to accomplish was in no small feat. And I'm going to sit there. I'm going to give credit to you because you are the one. Without you, we aren't in the position. Republicans aren't in the position that we are in today without Elaine Cariati. And I know I know you're not going to want to toot your own horn, but I'm going to toot it for you. So because without you and your fundraising and your leadership skills, we wouldn't be anywhere near the war chest that we have for this year. So I'm going to applaud you on that. And again, it's just another one of those things that I love in a candidate, one who takes the initiative and does not hold back, even when people told you no. Even when people told you no, you found other ways around it, and you made it happen. And that's what the city needs.
I definitely don't like being told no. When you tell me no, I work harder.
Well,
That is the problem.
I tell you no every once in a while, and that is true. She does just look at you and say, okay, and then next thing you know, she's back at you 10 minutes later with it in a different way. So Elaine, now that we know about Elaine, and of course I know both of your children, both terrific individuals, and you do build new homes here in Meriden, as you said. So what made you get into this race for mayor?
What made me get into it was I felt I had to be part of the solution. I have the same problems that everybody else has. I have a development where I build my houses in, and the roads are terrible. Absolutely terrible. I've worked with the city trying to get the roads paved, and I am like everybody else, no answers, no phone calls back. And I felt just like everybody else, I'm frustrated. So I feel I have to put myself in there to try and be a voice and get things done.
I, I can't agree with you more. The roads are horrible in a majority of the city. So I do fear, I do, share in your frustration. Now, when it comes to mayor, now I always, like I said, when I started the show, I said it that for years, never really cared about the mayor position. The reason why I care so much about it this year is because we have such a strong. Well, you guys have. You're the head of the ticket, so you have such a strong slate and such a strong under ticket beneath you. I think the mayor is extremely important this year. Extremely important. Now, to me, the role of being mayor is not political. It's more of an ambassador to the city, and that's how I look at it. So you would be an ambassador to the city and to help try to bring businesses in, work with councils to help set the agenda, and to break any tie that might occur. Now, again, with the strong slate, 4 or 5 wins from the Republicans, and you got a tied council, which means the mayor becomes really important. So, why don't you talk about how you would be a great ambassador for the city of Meriden?
Well, I'm definitely a people person. I will talk to every and anybody. I'm always there for people. I've done a lot of community service where I've reached out to a lot of people. I've made a lot of great connections. I have friends that I've had for a long time. Um, I'm in the business world where I know a lot of people that I love networking. I think networking is probably the most important thing. You have to network and you have to be good at it. You have to be likable and approachable. And I think I have all of those qualities where the city can benefit from that. And I think, I have, when I build houses, I have deadlines that I have to meet and budgets, and I'm able to meet all of those. I don't have a problem with that. And I think I have a lot of strong qualities. Quite frankly, in building houses, I boss grown men all day long. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you boss me around every once in a while, so I'm sure it's exciting for you. Um, but again, with every with every successful family, obviously there's always. I mean, your mother does extremely well in her investments and in her realty. You do very well in building homes and selling homes. Your brother over the years has done extremely well with Curiosity Developers. But as I said, with every successful family, issues happen. So, and again, this will come out in the campaign. So let's just air it out here so that everybody knows. Obviously, your brother had some issues with the IRS, ended up pleading guilty to. I'll let you get into it, and then did some time up in New York, I believe, and is now back home. So why don't you get in? Why don't you tell us about it, and we'll go from there.
So my brother had his issues. Um, I don't know the exact charge, but I know it has been brought out tax evasion. It was not that. Um, and it has been an issue for our family, but I think it has made us stronger as a family. I love my brother dearly. He is a great father, a great person. He's learned from his lesson, and I love my family, and family is the most important thing to me. So, you know, that's all I can say on that.
So of course, you know that the Democrats are going to try to throw this around and say that you're no different than your brother, and what would a Cariotti mayorship look like? Because obviously it's going to be brought up. Are you going to run it like your brother? Da da da. That's all nonsense. We all know that is. But that's the game that's going to be played. They're going to try to tie you to your brother, which you have no ties to the Cariotti developers, correct?
Correct.
So it's your company is totally separate, and you've been squeaky clean, and no one's ever questioned your integrity on anything going on with your company, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Actually, oh, sorry.
good. No, go ahead.
Actually, when I build my houses, I build my houses like they're my own. They get a 1 year warranty. I have never had a lawsuit against me. I actually live in my development, and I am friends with every single homeowner that I have sold a house to. I have a personal relationship with them. And out of 52 lots, I only have 15 left.
That's just amazing. Again, and you build some tremendous homes down there in South. Well, it's South Meriden, or it's considered South
Well,
Meriden, I think, or West Meriden. Well, yeah, I think you're in there by yourself. I mean, you're down the bottom of the hill, but That's where we like to try to keep you sometimes. But yeah, like I said, they're always going to try to tie you to your brother. They're always going to try to do that nonsense. But that's just political games. But we all know the real Elaine Cariotti. And like I said, I can't be any prouder of what you've accomplished, even what your family has accomplished. Because I mean, take that aside from what what happened with your brother. He's still built a pretty impressive company. Your family has built a very impressive company, multiple companies. So, and again, I think that should be praised. And even though people are always going to look at the negative of one negative when they can be looking at the thousand things positive out of it. But that's just people in general, and that's just the way it is. And again, that's just politics. So we'll just have to get used to that. But listen, I think you're going to be a tremendous candidate. I look forward to hearing you and Kevin debate, which is always going to be fun. But what's a couple of things you're looking to do to change the city? Is there any couple of bullet points that you on a high level that you want to look at?
Um, I'm not, there's so many issues in Meriden right now. I don't have my platform together. Um, I really want to put that together before I put it out there. But what I can say is I have the same complaints as everybody else. I'm tired of the roads. I'm tired of the taxes being too high. I'm tired of voicing my opinion, not being heard. I decided to go on pension, which was really not my cup of tea in the city of Meriden. So then I went on planning. I absolutely enjoy it. And, I just feel I have to get my feet wet and I have to be in the city to really make a difference, just like I did with the Republican Town Committee and with other places other community service places that I did. So I just feel that I have to give it my best effort and go all in so that I can make a difference. And then I can say I tried and I did what I did for the city.
So you had a great quote in your speech last night. It was fresh. Let me make sure I say it properly. Fresh faces,
A
fresh.
fresh face, a fresh start.
Thank you. Which I think is exactly what is needed in the city. Because we do need some fresh faces in this city, and we do need a fresh start in this city. And I think getting a new set of eyeballs on what's going on, I think will do tremendous things for the city as a whole. I think downtown is still a debacle that has been going on for years now. I think we're 4 or 5 years in, and we still don't have anything downtown. We obviously have flooding downtown. We had more water coming in. So obviously there's still more work to be done, which is again why I want to get in front of Frank, who's going to do Area 1, who's running in Area 1, to sit there and find out where he stands on a lot of the issues that are going on downtown. But I mean, how do you feel about the slate the Republicans have put out?
I think it's an amazing slate. Um, I know Bob Williams. I worked with him in a community service club for years. So I personally know him and we've worked great together. I know Ray Olette. Ray Olette used to live in my neighborhood. So I know him on a personal level. Joey Carabetta, I know his family. I know his mom, his dad, and Frank, I know socially. And I know we all work great together. And Dan Zimbrowski, I've known him, and even through the Meriden Republican Town Committee, we work together, and we're all on the same page. We all are. Um, we really, really want to see Meriden in a better place, and I think with the everybody's work ethics that we can really get there. We all have the same goal, which is kind of nice. Everybody's on the same page and we all believe in the same goal.
So you mentioned a couple times different service organizations in the city. What have you? How many have you worked with in the past?
Well, I worked for with the Meriden Wallingford Civitan Club, and that is a club that um, we raise money to help mentally and physically challenged children. We sponsor baseball teams. When I was president on it for years, we did Christmas parties for them, and we had Santa come and give them gifts. Um, and I did that for quite a few years. We did golf tournaments and things like that just to raise a lot of money to sponsor their kids for whatever they needed. We also, if there was a fire in Meriden, we would help the families in need, especially if they needed medical items and things like that. We sponsored families that a grandmother that who took in the grandchildren and needed to provide Christmas for the kids, so we sponsored families. I also worked on the Meriden Daffodil Committee, and I was on that for about 5 years. Did fundraising for them as well, um, and ended up leaving there. I also worked with Meriden Rod and Gun Club. With we did game dinners, in part and partnered up with the Civitan Club as well. Um, Fishing derbies, St. Jude, things like that. Um, so whatever I can get my hands into, I'm there.
Well, that's terrific. Like I said, I could contest that. So when it comes to fundraising, there is nobody better than you on fundraising. And the proof is in the pudding. If you go look in the Republican war chest, you can see the work of Elaine Cariotti. So I can only imagine what's coming in the near future with your candidacy and your fundraising skills. So it'll be a joy to watch. I think it's gonna be a great race. I think I honestly could go either way at this moment in time. Obviously, we'll find out as we get closer to November. But I think you're a tremendous candidate. I'm proud to back you and to support you and to in any way I can. Um, Hopefully, we'll have Kevin on because I do believe that we need both sides on. And Kevin, again, I like I said, I have no problems with Kevin personally. I think politically, I think he's made some serious miscalculations, because I think he's trying to appease both sides. This whole independent thing is not working. I don't know who he's trying to kid anymore with this being independent, but being backed by the Democrats. And then and then my big issue with Kevin would be when state elections, he's always campaigning for Democrats. So this whole independent thing, I think, is a sham. I think it was a sham to begin with, from what I said. I think he took the opportunity that he had to be mayor, and he grabbed at it. But I think some of his votes is going to be very detrimental to his candidacy this year. I think he's gone a little bit too far with his friends on the other side. So that's why I'm extremely excited to actually have a real Republican that has good morals and strong character and is a real strong fundraiser and just wants to help people in general, which is what I always try to do. I want to make sure that our citizens are taken care of, they're not lied to, and they're being heard. So they can't ignore us forever. And I think with this slate, I think the citizens of Meriden are finally going to have a strong voice going forward. And I look forward to seeing what you do out there on the campaign trail. So, Ms. Cariotti, anything you want to leave us with? Any last remarks before I take you off and then maybe bash you a little bit? No, just kidding.
No, I just want people to know that I am definitely determined, hardworking, and I once you see my platform, I think you'll be very happy. I think with our slate, you're going to see that you will not be disappointed. And I know it's early and new, and I want to gain your trust. And Actually, oh, and I want to say, on Wednesday, I am going to be at Downtown Coffee Shop between 8 and 10. So if anybody would like to come down and talk to me and discuss issues that they have and, just want to voice their opinion or, want to meet me, I will be there. And I'm going to be also doing some night ones as well.
That is awesome. I look forward to that next Wednesday. I will try to be there if work allows me to. But so that's next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yes.
So we'll make sure that we put a post. We'll make sure we get that out there on social media so they can come out and visit you. I think they will be pleasantly surprised sitting down next to you, just as long as you don't steal their bacon the way you steal mine. Okay, so Ms. Cariotti, I wish you the best. I think you are going to be a tremendous candidate. I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And if you could do what you've done with the RTC, I think you're going to be very successful. So my best to you and to your family. Again, thank you for coming on the show, and hopefully we'll get you back on soon, along with some of the other candidates. So, ladies and gentlemen, your Republican mayoral candidate, Ms. Elaine Cariotti. Thank you, hon.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
So there you have. I'm not her. Let me get that one off of there. I'm not her. This is me. I'm Joe Vollano. So, but again, I listen. I don't get bossed around by too many people. She happens to be one of them that gets away with it pretty well because, again, she has great ideas. She always has a reason behind everything she does. And I think she's going to be a great candidate. I think everyone's going to be extremely happy with her. And hopefully in the near future, you guys will be able to have an opportunity to actually meet her. So, and if you are around next Wednesday at the Downtown Coffee Shop, go see Tina and Elaine and have some great breakfast because it is one of my favorite breakfast spots and lunch spots, really, because I'm there probably about 5 times a week. So, get down there and meet the candidates. Again, because an informed voter is the best voter. Uninformed voters is what got us here. So we can't be put in this position anymore. So we need to make sure we do what we need to do to get these candidates over the finish line. So now we'll open up the phone lines. If you want to call in, 203-679-9610. You can call in and we'll take your questions. Or if you have any comments about Ms. Cariotti, we'll be more than happy to discuss them. Or you can email us straighttalkjv@gmail.com. Like I said, we have this slate. This slate that we have is just to me again is just amazing. Ray Arlette, he's an officer here in the city of Merida. He is a man in blue. Speaking of the men in blue, since I just came across, since I just stumbled across, talking about Ray and his profession, tonight, right now, as we speak, they have police promotions going on right now. So I just want to go through them because I think it's extremely important that we praise and thank our police officers. As you know, I try to all the time. So here are the following promotions. And again, I apologize if I hack up the names. I'm going to do my best. Please don't take it personally. Detective Sergeant Shane Phillips will be promoted to the rank of Detective Lieutenant, which is fabulous. Detectives Eric Simonson and Michael Fonda will be promoted to the rank of Detective Sergeant. That is as of tonight. And again, now this is what I'm going to see if I pronounce it right. And please do not pull me over and give me a ticket if I am wrong. So officers Gianna Coppolas and Michael Shedlock will be promoted to detective. Oh, so they're not even going to be so they're not even in patrol anymore. So I'm probably a little bit safer out on the roads now since I won't get pulled over by them. And then Officer Carey will be promoted to the rank of patrol sergeant. So I want to make sure I congratulate all of them. So I just want to, again, thank you for it. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. You guys ready? Because this just came across the hotline. The Democrat slate just came across the hotline. So let's go through it. Area 1. Yvette Cortez. She took over for Castro, for Councilman Castro, when he had his family issues, and he resigned. You don't hear much from her. She really hasn't done much. I mean, I don't know. She is, I believe, if I remember correctly, is now chairwoman of the Finance Committee, which is crazy as a newcomer. And then Area 2, you have LaRue Graham. Again, they begged and pleaded for him. I can only imagine. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that one. Area 3, they still don't have anyone yet. They're still awaiting a confirmation, I believe. Area 4, this is going to be interesting. Ken Morgan is going to be running Area 4 for Area 4. I thought Cassidy Batista was going to take a run at it. I really did. I thought Kathy was really going to take a run at it. But listen, Bob Williams is very popular in South Meriden. Every time he runs, voting is up 10%. That tells you something. That tells you you're doing a good job. That tells you you're doing a good job. When voting actually increases every time you're on the ballot, you're doing a tremendous job. So Ken Morgan, wow. I don't know. I don't think he stands a chance against Bob Williams, but you never know. I like to get him on the show and see where his thoughts are on it, on certain things. And then at large is basically what we thought it was going to be, Bruce Fontanella. And then you had Chad Gardillo, who is the new city councilor that took over for David Lowell. And then you got your Board of Ed. We're not really going to get into the Board of Ed. I think we have a great slate for the Board of Ed. I think under the leadership of Bob Kaczynski, I think I think they're going to do extremely well. But I think Bruce Fontanella needs to be concerned with his votes, because that's going to get a little dangerous for him if he keeps voting the way he votes. Listen, there's a lot of Democrats out there. It's not even just Republicans and independents. There's a lot of Democrats out there that are looking at this Democratic Party and what they're doing, especially against the police department, and they're saying, no, we are not for this. This is not us. This is not what we believe in. And I believe that. I believe they don't believe in this. Listen, these are your old school Democrats. These are your old JFK Democrats. They do not believe in what is going on in the city, state, or country today. They just don't. And I think we're going to start seeing that this year. I think you're going to start seeing those voters switch to Republicans or We the People. That is going to happen. They have grossly miscalculated where the people stand. And I think, again, the Use of Force Committee, that survey, was a prime example of it. Yeah, that's just a snapshot. But that snapshot was very, very telling. And I think it scared the crap out of a lot of Democrats. A lot of Democrats. I believe that is still the reason why the CRB, the Citizen Review Board, was not established yet. I think they're scared to death to establish that, because they know the people are not going to stand for it. The people are not going to stand for them handcuffing our police department. They are not going to stand for the council trying to pawn off their responsibilities to a review board when we have a public safety committee who could already do that job. It's not like we have a lot. In fact, we don't have any use of force complaints. Last year we had 0. There were 3, all withdrawn. So we don't even have a problem. They're trying to create a problem. They're trying to create a perception that there is something going on in this city that just is not so. And I think the people see right through this nonsense, which is why you're going to see these people show up in November not voting D. They're going to vote We the People or Republican. That is my prediction. And I got to tell you, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that every voter understands exactly what the council is doing. Know exactly what they're doing. That's my job, is to make sure that people know. That is your job out there to make sure people know what's going on. So now that we know this, now that we know the matchups, this makes me even more excited, because I look at this, Yvette Cortez. No, she's too far left. LaRue Graham doesn't even want to be here. Doesn't even want to be here. In fact, he's not here half the time. And the fact that they had to beg him to run should tell you everything you need to know about LaRue Graham and the Democratic Party as they are right now. Ken Morgan, that is a shocker to me. That is a shocker to me. Ken Morgan is a shock to me. I wouldn't have expected that. Chad, we already knew, because he already said it when he took over Lowell's seat that he was going to run. And I think he's a weak candidate at best. In fact, I think he's probably the weakest candidate out of all of them. And then Bruce Fontanella, which I think is still their strongest candidate. He was a top vote getter 4 years ago. I still strongly believe the way he's voting now and the way he's speaking now, I think is going to be very detrimental to him. And I need to get him on the show so he can explain why he's saying and voting the way he is. Because I don't see that as the typical Bruce Fontanella that I've known for years, that on how he acted and how he voted when he was a Republican on the town council. So I'm very interested in hearing on how he has gotten from where he is to where he is now. So that should be interesting going forward. But so there's your matchups, ladies and gentlemen. There's your matchups. Yvette Cortez versus Frank Scotto. LaRue Graham versus Joe Carabetta III. They have no one yet, but against Dan Brunet in Area 3. Ken Morgan versus Bob Williams for Area 4. And then Chad Cardillo and Bruce Fontanella versus Ray Arlette and Dan Zabrowski. Ladies and gentlemen, I can see a clean sweep coming. I would feel comfortable with that. I don't see how any of these people win. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I've also never had a podcast before. I never had the ability to blast this out to 20,000, 30,000 people at one shot if I wanted to. I do now. And I'm going to use that to my advantage. But listen, if they want to be part of the blast out, they could come on the show. They could come on the show. I have no problem with that. You know, so I love the fact that we have this. So the email, I love the emails. Again, if people send me things all the time, and they don't want their names being mentioned, this or that, and I normally I will research it first before I bring it to you guys. But listen, we've always had issues in certain categories of the city. And I think one of the biggest ones over the year that really haven't been talked about is dispatch. I mean, the first of all, it's gotten out of control, and the lack of staffing and a lot of mismanagement over the years, I think has really caused a problem. But it's one of those things we're going to talk about in the coming weeks. But I just want to make sure that we put it out there because I know we've known about it for years, and we're going to take care of it. Again, everybody's known about it. The mayor, the city manager, the council, we've all known about the issues. But we'll get into that more details in the next couple of weeks as things come along. But let's see what we got on the comment pages. Everyone loves Elaine. Need to get in Tower Senior Center, favorite place to walk. Yeah. Well, you mentioned the towers and the senior center. Willow Street is still. If I had to say, if any issue I had with voting in the city, it would be in Area 1 would be Willow Street. Because Willow Street is the only polling place where the residents live there. They live upstairs. And for years, people have been going up there, taking them and bringing them downstairs to vote. I don't like that. If you want to vote, you got to go to the polling place and vote. Why it's actually at the complex is beyond me. There's plenty of other places where they can do it. So, but that's just, again, that's just the way the rules are right now. We got to work within them. And that's something that Frank's going to have to overcome. So, again, this is just another question that we'll have for him when he comes on to the show. So, but ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There you have it. So I think maybe next week, do you know what I'm going to try to do for next week? I think what we're going to do is we'll get the Republican chairman on, and then we'll get the Democratic chairwoman on. And we'll separately, not together, because that would be awkward. But we'll put them separate. So we'll have, Sean McDonald, obviously he's always on the show anyways. He's always paying attention. So maybe we'll have him on, what's today? Today, Thursday. So we have to do it. So maybe we'll have Sean on Sunday if he's available. And I'll reach out to Millie and see if Millie wants to come on next Thursday and they could explain their slates and their positives and well, there's none of them going to have any negatives to say. But we'll see what the positives are and see how they want to spin it. So I think it'd be nice to have the leaders of the parties on. So we'll make that happen. But again, I'd like to thank Ms. Elaine Cariotti, the Republican mayoral candidate, for coming on to the show and giving her first interview as a candidate. And I look forward to having more conversations with her and with every single candidate that is on the slate. Both sides. Like I said, we're going to blast these out. We're going to blast these out every single week. So if you want to be part of that, and if you have a message, come out here and say you're not going to be demeaned in any way. You're not going to be insulted. You can come out here. We have a disagreement. Like, we had the deputy mayor on. We could disagree, which is fine. We're not going to get personal with each other. We're just going to state each other's opinions and we're going to leave it at that. We'll let the people sit there and decide on whether or not you're right or wrong or I'm right or wrong. So I think if you watch Deputy Mayor Cardona's interview, you'll see that's how pretty much every interview goes. So I'm fair, but just don't try to BS me because that's when that's probably when things turn for the worse for one of us. So, but like I said, I'll reach out to both chair people, and we'll see if they want to come on to the show. I think it'd be great if they want to come on together. They're more than welcome to come on together. Also, it doesn't matter to me. I think it'd probably be a little bit more productive if we had them separate, so I could get into a little bit more detail on some of these candidates. But so, like I said, Sunday we'll check it out and we'll see if we get them on. If not, we have plenty of other things to discuss. But again, congratulations to all those police officers on their promotions. Well deserved. And I know you guys, again, thank you for the great job you do. And if I hacked up your name, please do not pull me over and please do not give me a ticket. So I will greatly appreciate that. So as always, until Sunday, I love you guys. I love this great city we have. I do not want to see it ruined or taken in the wrong direction. So I'm going to do everything I can now that we have our slates out. We're going to try to reach out to all these candidates and get them on here. I think they should all come on, but that's going to be up to each and every one of them. So until Sunday, Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, as always, for being here. I love you, and God bless this amazing city, and God bless this amazing country of ours. I love you guys, and I will talk to you on Sunday.
And a million faces formed together, made for elevation. And a soldier won't surrender. Faith is like a fire that never bursts to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you pry it from the cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist.